What's going on, everybody? Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah. I'm here to obviously talk about how the Grinch stole Christmas. So, before I go any further, because you guys are going to enjoy this, please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell that's right there. Go ahead and share the video, leave a comment, and if you want to help me out, go down there in the description and click on that Patreon link. You know, you can always join. There's joining for free, but at the same time, if you will donate on there, any amount will do. Gotta help make things bigger and better. That's what I'm trying to do. We're getting close. We're getting close to that first tier of being YouTube partners. So, why am I saying that this is going to be great? Well, I'm going to talk about, there's been 3 theatrical release Grinch movies. There's, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This is just the Grinch here. There's the 1966 version. There's How the Grinch Stole Christmas 2000 version for us millennials. And there is The Grinch, the 2018 version. So I'm going to talk about all 3 different movies. Tomorrow you will see a review / retrospective on the 2000s version, and then the day after that, which should be Christmas Eve, you are going to see my review for the 2018 version. So let's talk about this 1966 version right here, right? This movie, actually next year, it's gonna be its 60th anniversary, so I'm ahead of the curve. I mostly did this one because the 2001 is entering its 25th anniversary. But this movie, 59 years old, obviously based on the book of the same title, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. A couple things that I didn't realize after doing a little bit of research. I don't know if I'm going to get messed up for any of those clips showing, so we're just going to hold him here. It was co-produced by Chuck Jones. Those of you who are animation nuts, Chuck Jones is the guy who animated the Looney Tunes. What else did he do? He did Looney Tunes. He did Merry Melodies. That's that guy, and that's animator, painter, voice, right? That's probably why the animation quality for How the Grinch Stole Christmas was really big. Actually, when I'm looking at my information here on the side, it was a holiday special. It was shown on, wherever this Channel 2 was, but Channel 2, 6 p.m. Funny enough, let's talk about some stats here. It's 25 minutes. Movie's budget was $315,000. It's relatively cheap compared to nowadays. And funny enough, I did say that it's going to be 60 years old. At the time of me recording this, it's actually December 19th. When I record the day before, December 18th, is when it was released in 1966. In the OG here, it is narrated by Boris Karloff, who is also the voice of the Grinch. That's right. Again, for you movie nuts, Boris Karloff, he played Frankenstein's monster, not Frankenstein, in those old Universal movies. It was Universal, right? At least I think it's Universal, right? But he was that original Frankenstein's monster, The Bride of Frankenstein, 1930s. So he narrates and he plays the Grinch. Now we all know Thurl Ravenscroft, who's also Tony the Tiger, who sings the song "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch." We get the rhyming in here, so every word spoken is a rhyme. Period. So every word spoken is a rhyme. You get more of a background of the Grinch. One of the see, it's really hard to compare right now. The How the Grinch Stole Christmas 1966 has been critically acclaimed. This is old MGM. I'm talking about MGM when they had the first lion, the first lion on there, not the second one that we all know from Looney Tunes. Us who watched the cartoons in the 80s and 90s. This is the old one. Also, Cat in the Hat Productions. That was the first time I actually heard of that. But, with the other movies, we get more of an explanation for why the Grinch is upset. Here, there's still the mystery. We don't know why. Maybe his shoes are too tight. And it's actually outside of these Christmas shoes, he actually has, those are green shoes. I always thought the Grinch was just buck naked, but no. Those are shoes. And he has the frock thing, it's a name for it. Kermit the Frog has that as well. I cannot remember the name of it. I feel like it's used for jesters and minstrels, right? Pull up some of my information here. If my trusty off-screen computer will work with me. And only 2 characters in this movie, besides all the Who's that sang. I always call the song "Ha Who Doris." It's not called "Ha Who Doris." It's called, I think it's called "Christmas is Welcome Christmas," because that's in there. A little fun fact though, that song, the "Ha Who Doris" song, it changes between each of the movies. It's just, it always had "Ha Who Doris," "Fa Who Doris," "Daru Doris," and the other words inside seem to change. At least this is what I'm remembering. I won't lie to you. I rewatched The Grinch. I've watched the 2001 like 3 times throughout since like November, honestly. And I watched this original one approximately 4 to 5 hours before I decided to do this. Well, before I had made up my mind to do this. Obviously, due to animation at the time, there's a lot of repeats in the animation, especially with the montage of the Grinch taking everything. It is very, very, Dr. Seuss. It is Dr. Seuss. When he's not making racist caricatures and propaganda, this is pretty much Dr. Seuss. The Who's are their classic look, different sizes, Seussian creatures. They're supposed to be humanoid, but they just look so weird. Pardon me. I don't remember any other animals outside of Max, the dog, who has a lot of personality in here. It's gonna be, well, I'll talk more about Max from the 2001 when I talk about the 2001. But here, a lot of personality. He seems to be, I don't want to say going along for the ride, but he really is, right? He's comical. He actually has to pull the sled, which the sled in, too bad you can't see the sled, but the sled in here, much smaller. It's not the giant Christmas sleigh that we see in the other renditions. Max, actually getting it to pull down and having to pull it all the way, that's insane. But yeah, the Grinch in here, and this original one, much more mean to Max than the Grinch is in either of the other 2. Granted, it was the 60s, really not much of an excuse, but it was the 60s, kind of had to play it up a little bit. The color gradient, I think this is where we confirmed that the Grinch is green. No, they say that he's green in the book, if I'm correct. I never read the book, but the illustration of him, it was more red, black, and white. We get the coloration of the green Grinch here. And another thing, because we don't get an age for him in other movies, here he has been enduring the jubilation Christmas of the Who's for 53 years. They say 53 is young, but let's just be real here. This old ass man is so cranky about Christmas. And the lesson here is for him. And you'll understand what I mean by lesson when you watch the other reviews, right? But the lesson here is for the Grinch. The Grinch, he thinks that Christmas is all about the pageantry, the lights and the presents. Like the line where he said it came without tags, without bags, without presents, and all this. It's not about that, Mr. Grinch. Now, the only 2 I mentioned, the only 2 characters are him and Cindy Lou. Yeah, we have the Who's, but the only named ones are him and Cindy Lou. Important to note, Cindy Lou shared a bed with 3 other siblings, the 2 brothers, which we'll see in other movies, and then a redheaded sister that just disappears. Never see this character in any of the other renditions again. But she is apparently 2, although in other, at least in 2001, she has to at least be 7 or 8, and in the Grinch movie, she's at least 6. Right? She's a young girl, but very in those movies, very mature, especially emotionally. Here, she's a little baby. She's smaller than the ornament that fell off the tree that woke her up. In the other illustration, she is minuscule, but she's a baby. But it's important to know in this cartoon, in this 1966 cartoon, she is the one who that doesn't look like a weird monster thing. She still has those, and they have little antennae in the 1966 one. That's what they all have. That's a common trait. She has that antenna, but she looks like a normal blonde haired little girl. So, why is this so iconic? I don't know. I guess it is. It's one of those first animation things we got for Christmas. I think it's this, and then you get the Charlie Brown stuff. I'm not discrediting, like Santa Claus Comes to Town or the Rudolph one. I think also animation-wise, because those will stop animation I just mentioned. Animation-wise, I think it's also Frosty the Snowman. I believe so. And I think the Grinch kind of kicked off like the Yogi Bear specials. I think the Flintstone special came in the 80s. I think that one came in the 80s. The Yogi Bear one definitely came in the 90s. I watched that one a lot. But this is the kickoff for holiday cartoons. All the songs were performed by the MGM Studio Choir, Ha Hoo Dore, that stuff like that. Now, I mentioned the Charlie Brown special. This movie, this cartoon only got bumped to number 2 because of Charlie Brown. It's this and Charlie Brown. They fight over that number 1 spot. Great animation. It's when you watch it, because I'm telling you, go ahead and watch it around the Christmas time. But this has come out the Monday before Christmas. Watch it today. It's only 24 25 minutes. Animation's really good. Still holds up. Still pretty solid. Outside of like the reuses for the montage of him stealing stuff, like the slithering across the ground and stuff like that, and then going from house to house, when you first see him and you get that look and you get that classic evil grin he makes, that iconic evil grin, the animation still really, really holds up. So it's a classic. I can't really give it a rating. It is not my favorite. It's not even my favorite Christmas cartoon, but you have to respect the classics. That is Home Alone. I talked about Home Alone already. You have to respect the classics. But yeah, him being brutal to Max, that's something. Make sure I don't have anything else. There's tons of rhymes. Apparently, actually, pardon me. Apparently there's prequels and follows. Like there's a Halloween, there's Grinch Night that aired in 11 years later. The Grinch's The Cat in the Hat, that was in 1982. Apparently that was produced by Marvel Productions. But there were, I want to say, 5 lines omitted from the book that were not in here, and then they added several. I only knew that because I looked it up, because again, I didn't read the book at all. But yeah, do you like How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the original 1966? Where does it rank on your holiday viewing? Do you have to see it every year, or is it one of those things where it's like, oh, well, if I get to it, I get to it, right? Because I grew up with the 2001, I'm a little bit more partial to that, but always respect the classic, especially with Boris Karloff and Mr. Tony the Tiger himself, Thurl. Please. I do listen to the song every year. So let me know what you guys think. Do you like the Grinch? Well, How the Grinch Stole Christmas? Answer those other questions. Do not forget, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, which is actually be right there. Make sure you share the video and click on that Patreon link that's right there in the description below. Thank you all for showing up. Hey, have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, and all that good stuff. Happy Festivus because people actually celebrate Festivus, right? Have a good time, all right? Thank you. I appreciate you. Please, be good, be blessed. Wash those hands, drink some water, have a little bit of eggnog. Be good to yourself, be good to others, just like Santa would be. And either way it goes, please don't be a jerk. There's too many jerks in the world, and I know that the holidays can be a rough time for people. Truly, truly can be a rough time for people. If you are having a rough time, please make sure you reach out to someone. Make sure you talk to someone. There are people out there that would rather talk to you today than to miss you and mourn you tomorrow. There are people who would like to help you shoulder your burdens. I promise you, you are not a burden to anyone. People would rather help you and have that option. You want to talk to me? My social medias are in the description below. Give me a follow, say hello, be mellow, and we will be good to go. All right, guys. So, I don't know how to sign off on this. So, you'll get a video on the morrow. Don't be sad. Don't sorrow. I'll be back in a pinch. I got another review about the Grinch.